99% of professional development is meaningless, dreadful, waste of time, boring, frustrating, infuriating, because where these PD hosts come to our schools and they give us solutions to problems we don't have and answers to questions we didn't ask. So please, if you are a PD person, if your job is to go into schools and talk to teachers, make an effort to figure out, all right, what are the problems that these teachers face? What can I bring? What about what I'm selling is going to help them in the classroom, is going to help them make a difference? We don't need ideas. We don't need a different angle on something. We don't need a wishy-washy principle. Worst of all, we don't need to be told what we're doing is wrong when we don't have the power to control it. I sat in a PD recently and we saw videos of this ideal classroom in China, and they were showing us how they work their desks, and these desks can transform to help make better collaboration. Great, we're on board. We would love that. Don't put that in your session to us. Put that in a separate session to the admin, to the people who write the bills, to the people that can affect that change. All right. Also in that PD session, they came in and they were selling us this idea of, I just think it's really wishy-washy, where everything's flexible and there's no clear distinction where one lesson ends and the next one finishes, and everything's individualized, and everything works at the student's pace and how they arrange it. And it's like, okay, show me how that works. There's a reason every school I can ever think of, every school I've ever worked in has set bell times, has set lesson times, has one teacher per subject. There's a reason for that, because there hasn't been a better solution. If you've got the better solution, present it. Explain it to me. But don't tell me the idea that education should be individualized, and this idea that, everyone stops at the same time of day and moves on to the next class altogether, regardless of what they got in the lesson. Well, isn't that just a pointless waste of time? No, it's not. No, that is the practical reality of classrooms. Then you say, well, maybe we need to redesign our classrooms. Okay, go for it. The example they gave was Boeing, when they had a problem with the airline seats. They had these airline seats that they're all the same, and they realized not all pilots were different, so they made customizable airplane seats. Yeah, I get it. But they didn't redesign the seat. They didn't redesign the plane. They made an adjustable seat that other pilots could sit in. We can make adjustable lessons. We can have a lesson where all of my students can learn regardless of their level, but I can still do it as one teacher in a class of 10, 20, 30 kids, one teacher with one subject, one teacher with 1 hour to work with my students. I can have an adjustable seat in that framework. You don't need to throw away, smash down the walls like they're doing in New Zealand with these modern learning environments where you've got 90 13-year-olds roaming around on their devices, right, to figure out their own individualized learning plan. The last thing kids need is free time to figure out what to do on a device. Who's thinking that's a good idea? So PD providers, stop selling me ideas, right? Stop selling me this wishy-washy nonsense of individualized education, when what we need are practical things that work in the classroom. If you are going to show me something that you've done, that you've gone, we did this and it worked. Like that video I just explained about the school in China. Fantastic. You got a video of this thing that works great, brilliant. The problem is I'm not in the place where I can affect that change, right? Again, that should be devoted to the admin. So this is what just frustrates me. When these people that run PD sessions come in and they're talking about things that it's not my battle. That's not my problem right now. My problem is I've got a whole content of a curriculum to get through, kids to prepare for exams, but also I want to make sure that my content is meaningful. I've got students engaged, and I've got a whole range of students with all varying abilities. How do I match my content to them? And I'll tell you how you don't do it. I don't individualize my content. This is something I'm really firm on. All of the literature and all of the things you read these days about education and everything is about meeting the wants and needs of individual students. I disagree. I disagree. Why? Because some of us are seeing 150 kids a day. How do you individualize your content to match 150 kids? Now, we're being told that we need to take into consideration all of the cultural and background context and the social context of our students as they come into our class. They're bringing their cultural capital and their experiences into the lesson. We need to accommodate that. Okay, how? That's fine for you to tell me that that's what I need to do, but please just show me how. How do I do that? That's what I'm interested in learning about, because I think that's where the burnout is happening. Things are most stressful when you don't have control of them. I can't control what happens with my students outside of my classroom. What can I control? My classroom. And that's where I'm at right now. And I think I'm doing my students a better service by taking more control of my classroom, by having a very safe, secure, structured environment for students to come into. They walk into that classroom, no matter what's happened in their lives outside, they know they're sitting down looking at a teacher who's planned, prepared, got everything laid out, and I know where I want to take you in my lesson. Now, if I was a student, especially a student who is going through a lot of turmoil, I think that's what I would want, rather than walking into a classroom with 100 other kids with no walls, with these massive barnyard environments, or even just walking into a class with 20 or 30 kids and the teacher saying, right, what do we want to do today? What do you want to do today? Take out your iPads and find some stuff. What would you like to learn? What should we do? If you're a kid who's got chaos in their lives, which one do you want? You know, I mean, any parent would tell you the best thing for kids, right, is structure and order, right? Yeah, we have to give autonomy. Yeah, we need to give them direction over their learning. But that doesn't mean we throw away our curriculum, we throw away our years of expertise and say, hey, you guys, what do you want to do, right? I don't think that's what schools are for. The idea that all this information is on Google, so we don't need to teach any content because they can just look it up, is nonsense. If you don't know, you can't think. And so we're teaching thinkers, right? But it's just that simple. If you don't know about something, you can't think critically about it. So our job is to impart knowledge. I don't know why we're trying to redefine teaching. This is my first episode of one of many which will become Trav Rants. I do worry that I'm going to say the same thing again and again. But there's a reason why this channel is devoted mainly to practical teaching ideas. Basic things like guess who, laminated traffic lights, mini whiteboards, how to make a better workbook, how to incentivize your competitions. Because these are the things that I've done that have helped engage my students in the classroom and make my classes a better place. But I think my students would agree, it makes it a place that they want to come and learn. They're inspired by psychology. They want to carry on studying it. I'm sick of these. One of the things with the professional development I see, I'm a little skeptical of anyone who is in a rush to get out of the classroom to start doing PD circuits. I'm pretty skeptical of that. I never want to leave the classroom. I never want to become an administrator. I would only ever offer professional development if I'm sharing something that I've worked in my classrooms, and I don't see the need to go out and host PD sessions to share ideas. I've got this tiny wee YouTube channel with 51 subscribers where I can just post my ideas here. This is the best part. This is the best type of PD I can think of. I'd call it Optin PD. Teachers can choose, hey, that looks like something I want to do. That looks like they're going to solve a problem that I have right now, so I'm going to opt into it. So please, administrators, before you schedule our professional development sessions, before you think, okay, I'm going to take all of our staff's time for this, just think, is it solving a problem that your teachers have? Is it asking and addressing questions that they're constantly asking? And if you don't know what the problems are or the questions that the teachers are asking, again, that's your first port of call. Go and observe some classrooms. Go and ask your teachers, hey, what do you need help with? Where do you need the professional development? It all comes back, I think, the best teacher is someone who cares about getting better and cares about their students. So the professional development is pretty easy. You just hand it towards those things. How can I help you get better? What would you like, right, to help you get better? What can I help you to show your students more care? Oh man, there was another point I was going to make, but I forgot. Good thing about video editing is I can just sit here and think for 20 minutes and then just hit pause. If you are a PD host, don't make the mistake one of our hosts made 2 years ago when they were retiring the next week. So in 2 or 3 of their sessions throughout the 2 days, they would talk about how, oh, next week I'm going to be on a beach retiring. That's 30 years of education done. It's kind of like getting up there and saying, I don't care what you guys are doing next week. I don't care if this hits home or not. I'm 1 foot out the door. That was a pretty easy, no-no. Well, I forget the point I was going to make. Good thing this ain't a live podcast. My point is, PD needs to be targeted to help teachers get better in the classroom. Teaching doesn't happen in books. It doesn't happen in the clouds. It happens in the physical classrooms and physical real schools that aren't going away anytime soon. And so what we need are ideas and strategies that will help us in those practical, physical environments. That's what I ask. All right, that was Trav Rants. In the next episode, I'm going to explain, or my next video, I'm going to explain a real simple PD idea that I've suggested year after year after year, and it's never ever been taken up. So hit subscribe and you'll get the notification when that's ready.